Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt like your legs just didn't want to cooperate? Maybe it takes a second longer to find your balance. Maybe your knees feel shaky, your thighs feel like jelly, and you need to hold onto the table, just in case. You think to yourself, that's just aging, right? But what if it's not just age? What if something else is happening inside your body? Quietly, slowly, and dangerously. Today, I want to talk to you about something most people have never heard of, but almost everyone over 60 is affected by in one way or another. It's called sarcopenia. Don't let the word scare you. It simply means loss of muscle mass and strength as we age. But what makes it truly frightening is how invisible it is. You don't feel it happening. It sneaks up on you. One year you're walking to the market and carrying bags with no problem. The next year, those same steps feel heavier, and the stairs, they feel like mountains. Sarcopenia doesn't shout. It whispers. It tells you to sit down more often, to take the elevator instead of the stairs, to stop gardening, to let someone else carry the groceries. And the more you listen to that whisper, the more your muscles shrink, and the weaker your legs become. Until one day, you try to step off a curb, and you stumble. Or you reach for something on the floor, and you can't quite get back up. And then the fear sets in, not just of falling, but of losing your independence. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be that way. The first step is to recognize it. The second step is to act. Because sarcopenia isn't just a part of aging. It's a condition, and that means it can be managed and even reversed with the right approach. I once met a gentleman named Mr. Phong. He was 74 and sharp as a tack, but his legs had grown so weak that he could no longer walk to his favorite cafe without help. He thought it was arthritis or circulation problems. But when we looked closer, we saw something simpler and more surprising. His muscles had shrunk. The strength in his thighs and calves had quietly disappeared. No pain, no injury, just loss. That's sarcopenia. And it wasn't just his legs. He'd stopped opening jars because his hands felt weaker. He gave up swimming because pulling himself out of the pool became too hard. These little things piled up until he started to believe he was just too old to do them anymore. But he wasn't. After learning about sarcopenia, he started taking small steps, literally. Short walks every morning, light strength exercises at home, adding more protein to his meals. And within 3 months, his legs began to feel sturdier. He was walking farther, standing longer, and most importantly, he felt hopeful again. That's what I want for you. Not fear, not guilt, just awareness and power. Because sarcopenia isn't rare. In fact, some studies suggest that up to 1 in 3 adults over 60 already have it, even if they don't know it yet. And the earlier you recognize the signs, the easier it is to push back. So let's take a look at some of those signs together, how they show up in everyday life, and how you can begin to fight back. It starts with a question. Have you noticed yourself getting slower or weaker, even though you haven't been sick or injured? That might be your body trying to tell you something important. Now here's something to think about. Have you noticed that getting up from a low chair takes more effort than before? Do you find yourself using your arms to push off the seat or needing a moment to gather yourself before standing? That right there, that hesitation, that little extra push, is one of the earliest signs of muscle loss in your legs. Sarcopenia doesn't need to wait until you can't walk. It starts in the small things, walking slower than your friends, feeling tired after short distances, or needing to pause halfway up the stairs. You might brush it off as just being careful. But if these changes are happening without any clear injury or illness, it could mean your leg muscles are no longer as strong as they once were. Some people notice it while shopping. You walk into the market feeling fine, but by aisle 3, your legs feel heavy. You lean on the cart more than usual. You look for the nearest bench. It's not exhaustion. It's not laziness. It's your body quietly telling you, I don't have the strength I used to. And when muscle loss gets worse, balance starts to go too. That's when people begin to trip more often, stumble on uneven pavement, or feel nervous walking in unfamiliar places. And sadly, for many older adults, this is where falls begin. A fall isn't just a tumble. It can mean broken bones, hospital stays, and a sudden loss of independence. But here's the part most people don't realize. You can start rebuilding that strength at any age. Even in your 70s, 80s, or 90s, your body can still respond. It just needs the right support. Mr. Phong, the man I mentioned earlier, didn't start by going to the gym. He started in his own living room. He began by standing up and sitting down from a chair 10 times a day. Then he added 2 soup cans in his hands for resistance. He focused on his thighs, his calves, and his glutes, the key muscles that support walking and standing. And little by little, they came back. But it's not just about exercise. One major cause of sarcopenia is not getting enough protein. And sadly, many seniors eat less protein than they need, either because of poor appetite, chewing difficulties, or habits formed when they were younger. But your body can't rebuild muscles without the building blocks. That's why nutrition is just as important as movement. If you're not eating enough eggs, tofu, chicken, fish, beans, or dairy, your muscles may be running on empty. Even adding 1 boiled egg or a cup of Greek yogurt to your daily meals can help kickstart that rebuilding process. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be consistent. So here's what we know so far. If you're feeling weaker, moving slower, or avoiding steps and standing, it might not be just aging. It might be sarcopenia, the invisible disease that's trying to take your legs away from you without making a sound. But now that we understand where it begins, let's take this conversation even deeper, because in the next part, we'll uncover how sarcopenia affects your entire life, not just your legs, and what specific steps you can take today to fight back. When people think about muscle loss, they often picture someone who's bedridden or very frail, barely able to walk. But sarcopenia begins long before that. It doesn't just affect your body. It changes how you live your life, sometimes without you even noticing. Let's imagine a simple day. You wake up and need to go to the bathroom. If your legs feel weak or your balance feels off, what's the first thing you do? You hesitate. You move slower. Maybe you reach for the wall. That small hesitation adds up. Over time, you begin to avoid walking too far in the house. Maybe you stop watering your plants outside, or decide not to visit the neighbor down the street. Not because you don't want to, but because your legs don't feel steady enough. Sarcopenia doesn't only steal your strength, it steals your confidence. And when confidence goes, independence often follows. You start asking others for help with things you used to do easily. You sit more, move less. That can lead to even more muscle loss, which creates a vicious cycle. Less movement equals more weakness equals less confidence. Before long, you're not just physically weaker, you're emotionally and mentally affected too. Some people start to feel embarrassed. Others feel frustrated or even depressed. That's why it's so important to recognize that muscle strength is not just about physical power. It's about quality of life. The ability to dress yourself, cook your meals, stand in the shower without fear of slipping, walk to the market, travel to see your grandchildren, and yes, stand proudly, with your shoulders back and your legs strong beneath you. The good news? Even though sarcopenia sneaks in quietly, you can push back loudly. One of the most effective ways is to start doing simple, consistent leg exercises right at home. You don't need to lift heavy weights or join a gym. Even a sturdy chair and your own body weight can do wonders. Here's something easy to start with, the sit-to-stand exercise. Find a safe, stable chair. Sit all the way down, then stand back up without using your hands. If that's too hard at first, use your arms a little, just to get going. Try doing this 5 to 10 times in the morning and again in the evening. It may sound small, but this one movement strengthens your thighs, your core, and your balance all at once. Another simple one, heel raises. Stand behind a chair, hold on for support, and slowly lift your heels until you're on your tiptoes. Hold for a moment, then lower back down. This works your calves, essential for walking and climbing stairs. It's not about doing 100 repetitions. It's about doing something every day, gently, with love and patience for your body. Just like watering a plant, it doesn't grow overnight, but with care, it always grows. And don't forget to breathe deeply as you move. Good breathing supports your posture and helps your brain stay calm and focused. When your breath is steady, your steps become steadier too. Now let's talk about the other side of the coin, nutrition. Because even if you're moving your body daily, if you're not giving your muscles the fuel they need to grow, it's like trying to build a house without bricks. Your body needs protein, vitamins, and the right kind of energy to rebuild strength and protect your legs from further loss. Sadly, many people over 60 aren't getting enough protein. And it's not because they don't care. Sometimes it's appetite. Sometimes chewing becomes more difficult. Sometimes it's habits from when we were younger, when eating light was seen as healthy. But now, at this stage in life, your muscles need you to eat smarter, not less. Let's start with protein. Your muscles are made of it, and they need regular supply to stay strong. Eggs, fish, tofu, lean meat, beans, Greek yogurt, these are all great sources. If your appetite is low, try starting with small portions, but eat them more often throughout the day. Even adding a boiled egg at breakfast or a scoop of protein-rich yogurt as a snack can make a difference over time. And it's not just about protein. Certain vitamins and minerals also play a huge role in fighting muscle loss, especially vitamin D, calcium, and B12. Without enough vitamin D, your body can't absorb calcium properly, and your muscles become weaker. And low B12 levels, they affect your nerves, your energy, and your ability to move confidently. If you don't get much sunlight or eat many animal-based foods, it's worth checking with your doctor about your vitamin D and B12 levels. A simple blood test can tell you if supplements might help. Many seniors find that once they restore these levels, their energy improves, and their legs start feeling less like weights and more like wings. Now here's something else that often gets overlooked: rest and sleep. Believe it or not, most of your muscle recovery doesn't happen while you're exercising. It happens when you're resting. If you're not sleeping well, your muscles don't rebuild the way they should. And that means all your effort, walking, stretching, eating better, can be slowed down. So don't feel guilty for resting. Make your sleep a priority. Keep a regular bedtime. Use a firm pillow to support your legs if needed. And keep your room cool and quiet. Quality sleep is one of the greatest healers you have. Putting all of this together, movement, food, vitamins, and rest, it may feel like a lot, but you don't need to do it all at once. Pick one small thing to start with. Just one. Maybe today it's a short walk around your garden. Maybe tomorrow it's an extra boiled egg. Every small step you take is a message to your body that says, "I'm not giving up on you." And trust me, your body will respond with strength, balance, and a little more confidence with each passing day. Now that we've explored how sarcopenia affects not just your legs, but your independence, energy, and daily life, let's talk about the most important part: how to keep moving forward. Because the final part of this video isn't just about facts. It's about hope. Let's take a deep breath together. You've made it this far, and that tells me something important. You care about your body. You care about your future. And most of all, you're willing to learn. That is already a victory. Now, I want to remind you of something that many people forget. You are not weak. You may feel weaker than you used to. You may move slower, or need to sit more often. But weakness is not who you are. It's simply a signal, a whisper from your body saying, "Please, give me what I need so I can be strong for you again." Sarcopenia may be called an invisible disease, but once you know it's there, it's not invisible anymore. You can face it, and more than that, you can fight it. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s rebuild the strength they thought they'd lost forever. I've seen women who hadn't walked more than a few steps in months start taking strolls around their block again. I've seen men who needed help standing up go back to gardening and playing with their grandkids. And none of them started by lifting heavy weights or doing intense workouts. They started with belief and with small, consistent actions. Maybe that action is standing up from your chair 5 times every morning. Maybe it's stretching your calves while waiting for the kettle to boil. Maybe it's switching white bread for a protein-rich breakfast. Whatever it is, let it be yours. Your step, your pace, your journey. The beautiful thing is, your muscles are not gone. They're just waiting to be used, waiting to be woken up. And they will respond. Not all at once, not overnight, but they will respond because your body still wants to support you. It just needs to be reminded how. Let me tell you something you may not hear often enough. Aging is not the end of your story. It's a new chapter. One where you get to decide how you want to move, live, and feel. You don't have to accept pain and weakness as your new normal. You don't have to give up dancing, walking by the lake, or playing with the great-grandkids on the living room floor. Yes, sarcopenia is real, but so is your strength. And your strength doesn't live in big muscles or heavy weights. It lives in your heart, your will, and your willingness to say, I want better. I deserve better. Because you do. Right now, as you sit watching this, you've already taken a powerful step. You've opened your mind to something new. You've chosen to face what others ignore. And that makes you braver than you think. So let's keep going. In this final part, I'll share the most important mindset shift you can make. The one that turns knowledge into action, and action into real, lasting change. Because at the end of the day, sarcopenia doesn't define you. Your next step does. The truth is, every strong body, no matter how old, starts with a strong intention. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You don't need to move like you did when you were 30. You just need to keep choosing movement over stillness, nourishment over neglect, hope over helplessness. One of the most powerful things you can do today is to believe that your legs still have more life in them, that your muscles aren't finished growing, that you can still build strength, step by step, meal by meal, day by day. And if you've been watching this and thinking, but I'm already too far gone, I've already lost so much muscle, what's the point? Then please hear this from me. It's never too late. Your muscles respond to movement at any age. They don't care how long it's been. They care what you do today. So do one thing. Just one. Maybe it's that sit-to-stand exercise we talked about. Maybe it's going to the kitchen and boiling an egg. Maybe it's stepping outside and taking in a breath of fresh air while you walk for 5 minutes. And when you do that one thing, celebrate it. Tell yourself, this is my comeback. My legs are still mine. You have so much left to experience, so many places to walk, people to visit, memories to create. Don't let an invisible disease decide how your story ends. You get to write the next chapter, and you're not alone. Here at VITAGO, we're building a community of older adults who aren't giving in. We're giving more. More strength, more self-love, more inspiration for each other. So if you're ready to join us, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with someone who might need this message today. You never know whose life you might change with a simple click. And I would truly love to hear from you. Have you experienced signs of sarcopenia, like weakness, slower movement, or loss of balance? What has helped you feel stronger? Let me know in the comments. We read every single one, and your words could be the motivation someone else needs. Let's keep walking together, one strong, steady step at a time. And to your legs, those beautiful, brave legs that have carried you through a lifetime, I say thank you. Thank you for every step, every climb, every dance, and every hug. With a little more care, they'll carry you for many more moments to come. Happy birthday to you at every age. Keep standing tall. Keep choosing strength. And I'll see you in the next video.